Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me today to this new episode of Music with Nick. Today, we got, as you can see, a epic pick by Patrick, and I wanted to thank him so much for choosing another epic track from this album, Magnification by Yes from 2001. The last time that we had pretty much the almost all entire original lineup playing together on their on this album as the band Yes, as almost, you know, if you don't count Bill Bruford from the beginning, Alan White is on this, of course. I think both of them are very, very epic, you know, members of the band Yes, as you know, as far as drummers go. But we have obviously John Anderson, Chris Squire, and we have Steve Howe, and the only one that is unfortunately is missing is Rick Wakeman. There's no Rick Wakeman on this, but we have who do we have on keyboards? Tom Brislin filling up for him, and of course the orchestra, which is beautiful, a beautiful idea. So today, as you can see in the title, and I hope I'm not moving this too much, we're gonna do Dreamtime, a epic over 10 minute epic that I'm gonna listen to, and we're gonna talk about the song afterwards. So again, thank you so much, Patrick. I apologize that Alexia couldn't be here. It has to be planned, you know, it has to be done in advance. You can email us and say, hey, you know, in 1 week I would like you and Alexia to react to a song together. Please open up a request, and then we can, if we have the time. Right now it's very scarce. The time is very scarce because we have all this stuff going on. We're in the middle of the move, and we're trying to get we're trying to get rid of all the stuff that we didn't manage to save, which is not your stuff, not your guys' stuff. All that was neatly packed and shipped. But it's just like other computers and our TVs and stuff, and we still have to get rid of our vehicles and all that stuff. So it's very time consuming. So there's also Alexia still, you know, going to work. So there's just not enough time to do everything. So I apologize that she's not present. But as always, I will play her this track, as all the tracks that we've done, for example, in the presence of and stuff like that, right? All right, so here we go with the song, and give me just 1 second. All right, and here we go. Yes, the album Magnification, 2001, Dreamtime. Here we go. Concierto de Aranjuez, if I'm not mistaken.
Dreamtime begins where every song is the perfect place. Words never spoken are the strongest resounding. Life force is meant for us to remember the stars, the earth. still we forget. So asleep in this dream time, lost in this dream time day. Take me up into the freedom place and justify. On the silent wings of gold, my soul intensify. Nominate that we can take together. Demonstrate that we can break it out and take it forever. Is what you know, is what you're asking. The soul is everlasting. You can fly, you can glide, you can dream, you can see through this interactive vision streaming. So busy trying, forever flying to the sky, to the earth, to the moon, to the sea, to the sun, to the stars, to the dream you become. Nothing left to lose, nothing more to prove. With wings of gold, you fly away. Talk among the prophets, give you something. Talk among the teachers, tell you something. Talk among you, watch yourself now, forever, 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 forever.
Chris here. Beautiful. Wow, beautiful. This like honestly, I have to say on magnification, it is like yes, we're missing Rick Wakeman, but I mean this orchestra is really like a shining star for the band. It really ties everything together, especially um, because I can sense here, and especially in this song, that everybody kind of like tries out their different kind of like paths. You can see Steve Howe, playing a little bit more Spanish oriented guitar, like in that direction. Arabic scales, you have that very Spanish sound to it, like he was playing some steel guitar, if I heard correctly, but also like almost like a sitar. So he's like, I love that it basically sounds a little bit like world music. This Yes, um, you know, album, and obviously Larry, I think Group A or Group or whatever, I don't really know how to pronounce it. I would say Larry Group A, conducting the orchestral composition and arrangement. This 2 minute arrangement at the end, it had a very almost score like feel to it, very like John Williams, or these great composers, from the 70s and 80s, Alan Silvestri, and we had Bernhard Herrmann, and countless others that I right now don't remember, but the Hollywood kind of like, well, also the romantic era, that was so effective in, you know for Spielberg and for George Lucas and for all these amazing direct movies and directors, but this felt very, but the music here, like, I love John Anderson. He I mean, he never misses the mark. I loved the obviously the way he uh you know uh shares the vocals with Chris, the way they harmonize is just a blessing that they have done it from the beginning, so it always sounds perfect what they do. And Chris also very, very adventurous here on the bass. You could hear a lot of stuff that he was slapping. I know he plays with a pick, but I've seen him play with his fingers live. He does do this whole thing here with his fingers, and I'm sure he also does some slapping or tapping or whatever. Alan on the drums was beautiful. Like, there was some, percussions as well in the whole mix. Like, that's why I say it felt very tribal. It felt Spanish. It did have a lot of orchestration. There were trumpets, there was cellos, violins. It's so full of life, and it really gives us like a very, very grandiose feel for the band. So I think this is a very good album to get into, if you're not used to the 70s, yes, and you really haven't gotten into the 80s, yes, this is, or the 90s, we have no idea. But I think this album is a great album if you're into just world music, and maybe you are into prog, but you still don't really know a lot of prog. This is a great starting point. I would totally recommend someone that to not kind of like scare them away with all the crazy prog elements. This is a good start. Would be a good album to start, and it's crazy that it's from 2001. This literally came after. When I got into prog, it was around, I think, like 2005 or so, and I started with Liquid Tension and Shadow Gallery and Dream Theater and stuff like that. So it was more into progressive metal. And but I did see all these Magna Carta, the Magna Carta is a record company, these tribute to Genesis, tribute to Yes, tribute to Rush, tribute to Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And I was like, what are all these bands? Like, what is this? Like, and then I did listen to some Genesis, and of course I heard 90s Genesis. I was like, why would these metal bands be influenced by this pop music? So I was totally in the right in the wrong time. I didn't know that Genesis was the 70s progressive rock band, but we've talked about this endless times, but that's just how it happened. The only band that I knew was kind of like prog rock was Rush, and that's a tribute that I bought from Magna Carta, where all these newer bands from the 2000s were paying tribute to Rush and playing the songs exactly the same. You can hear Mike Portnoy on the drums and James Labrie singing songs like Red Barchetta and stuff like that, Working Man and stuff like that. So, but yeah, this is an amazing album. I'm really happy that Patrick is so, enamored with this album, and this is his third request. And I wanted to thank you again, Patrick, for requesting this fabulous music from this newer, this is already 24 years ago, but it's newer, yes, to us, completely new. And I love that they did try to get together, and even though they were in a different time 30 years later from their big inception, but they still have it here. They're amazing, and they're truly showing how special they were. And I mean, this orchestra just lifts up the band, and I think every band once in their lifetime, or in their whatever the band lasts in time, they should at least release one album with an orchestra, because it gives your music so much depth, and it really brings out the beautifulness, of the harmonies and the chords and the arrangements. And so this was wonderful. Again, thank you so much, Patrick, for doing this. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reaction, and let me know what you think in the comment section. Please, if you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Each subscription is free, of course, if you have a Google account, and you can also comment with your Google account. And it's if you subscribe, it does really help out. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it if you're still here. And again, thank you so much. I'll see you all in the next one.